There were several individuals sentenced in 2021 in drug and firearm cases investigated by multiple agencies. The sentences ranged from 4 years, 3 months in prison to up to 17.5 years in prison. All of the defendants received supervised release following their prison sentences. During the year 2020, due to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office partnerships with Homeland Security, Drug Enforcement Agency, and the U.S. Attorney's Office, efforts focused on drug trafficking in and around Lincoln County, and they have resulted in the following federal convictions for methamphetamine trafficking, conspiracy, and firearms-related offenses in 2021. The following individuals entered guilty pleas and received their sentences. Savannah Leanne Goins was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 5 years of supervised release. Joseph Michael Vassy was sentenced to 11.5 years behind bars with 5 years of supervised release. Kimberly Nicole Wood was sentenced to 10 years in prison with 5 years release. Marley Dare Griffith was sentenced to 10 years in prison with 5 years of supervised release. Kenneth Otis Bethea Jr. was sentenced to 10 years behind bars and 5 years of supervised release. Ryan Andrew Prescott was sentenced to 4 years, 3 months in prison with 3 years of supervised release. Robert Allen Somerville was sentenced to 10 years in prison with 5 years supervised release. Justin David Barnhill was sentenced to 12.5 years behind bars and 5 years of supervised release. Matthew Zachary Coleman received a 17.5-year prison sentence with 5 years of supervised release. Vanna Lowe was sentenced to 12.5 years of prison time with 5 years supervised release. Donna Mae Bumgardner was sentenced to 7 years behind bars, followed by 5 years of supervised release. Dakota Reese Davis has entered a guilty plea and is awaiting sentencing. The total prison time handed out is 115 years and 3 months, with 43 years of supervised release. Reporting for WHKY-TV News, I'm Rob Eastwood.